A long, long time ago, after Adam and Eve left the beautiful Garden of Eden, they began a new life in the world. It wasn't perfect like the garden, but it was home. One day, Eve gave birth to a baby boy. She smiled and said, "With the help of the Lord, I have brought forth a man." They named him Cain. He was strong and curious and loved working with plants. Later, she had another baby boy. This one was gentle and kind. They named him Abel. Abel loved animals and became a shepherd, watching over the sheep every day. And so, two brothers grew up, side by side, each one special in his own way. As the years passed, Cain worked hard in the fields. He planted seeds and grew big, juicy fruits and vegetables. He loved digging, watering, and watching tiny plants stretch up toward the sun. Abel, on the other hand, spent his days with the sheep. He sang to them, led them to green grass and cool water, and even named some of them. Cain and Abel were different, but they were brothers, and they both wanted to show their love to God. One day, the two brothers decided to bring gifts to God. Cain brought some of the food he had grown from the ground. It looked nice, but it wasn't the very best. Abel chose his very best lamb, the firstborn, the strongest, the most perfect one. He gently placed it on the altar as a gift to God. God looked at Abel's gift with joy, but he wasn't pleased with Cain's. Cain hadn't given with a thankful heart. When Cain saw this, his face turned angry. His eyes burned with jealousy. He felt upset, very upset. God saw Cain's heart and gently spoke to him. "Why are you so angry, Cain? Why is your face so sad? If you do what is right, won't I be happy with you too? But be careful. Sin is like a wild animal waiting at your door. It wants to grab you, but you must be strong and rule over it." But Cain didn't listen. His anger grew darker, and something very terrible began to grow in his heart. One day, Cain said to Abel, "Let's go for a walk in the field." Abel smiled and followed his big brother, not knowing what was in Cain's heart. The sun was shining, the grass was tall, the wind was gentle, but Cain's heart was stormy. And then, it happened. In a moment of terrible anger, Cain hurt Abel. Abel fell to the ground. He didn't move. Cain had done something no one had ever done before. He had hurt his own brother. Later, God called out to Cain, "Cain, where is your brother Abel?" Cain crossed his arms and said, "I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper?" But God already knew the truth. He said, "Cain, what have you done? Your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground." Cain looked down. He knew he had done something very wrong. He was afraid. Then God said, "Because of what you've done, the ground will no longer grow food for you. You will wander from place to place. You can't stay here anymore." Cain cried out, "This punishment is too much. If anyone finds me, they'll hurt me." But even though Cain had done wrong, God still showed mercy. He put a special mark on Cain, a sign that no one should harm him. Then Cain turned and walked away, leaving the land he once called home. He went to live in a faraway place called the land of Nod. And so, the story of the first two brothers ends in sadness, but it teaches us many things. It teaches us to give our best to God, not just anything. It reminds us to guard our hearts when we feel angry and to talk to God when we're upset. It shows us that jealousy can hurt others and ourselves. But most of all, it teaches us that God still loves us, even when we mess up. He gives us chances to do better. So remember, be kind, be grateful, and yes, be your brother's keeper.